Greetings, YouTube community, and particular Mandela Effected community. It is raining today in the woods. I care not. The only thing I feel bad about is I'm not taking my dogs out because I only want them to be so wet in the house. Haha. Figured I'd send a quick message. Most of my videos don't necessarily regard particular Mandela effects. It more regards the feelings that one goes through personally who is actually experiencing the Mandela effect in real timing. I wanted to talk real quick about one interesting thing for me. I guess I'll theme this my personal development or whatever of the Mandela effect from 2016 to now, to the present. I'm very much, I like to say, always been one who is fascinated with philosophy, esoteric thought, metaphysics, all that stuff, ever since I was conscious of being in this life. And though that's still the case, there's a lot of things that are different, particularly since the Mandela effect for me. And the one that really strikes me interestingly enough, especially since you hear it boast about in a lot of the younger generation, that, you know, hey, young generation, real timing. The disregard of wanting to be informed by conventional means. I'll give you one great example. This morning I was listening to Democracy Now! On a local community radio, KZFR. I'm sorry, KZFR, I need to, be a subscriber or whatever, because I love your shit. But anyways, Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman, liberal talk radio, whatever. I always, when I used to stay more informed in those conventional means, I used to always like to try to balance out the information as much as possible and try to get, what I always saw as the way too far extreme on both sides. I used to truly want to be engaged and truly want to stay informed. I used to listen to Democracy Now! Practically religiously. I would listen to NPR religiously. I loved the radio. I still love the radio. I just listen to KZFR more, baby. Those music and vibrations. And when it comes to news, I do attempt to stay informed. More on the local scale. Right? More on the local news. More of things that are actually going on in my area that I might be able to have a true hands-on impact on. And what I'm getting at is the thing that I find averts me these days from Democracy Now! And other NPR or any of the other informative news talk radios, or any, mainstream, let alone CNN, CBS, Fox, any of that shit. I see through the programming more, where before I didn't. It's not that I wouldn't analyze it in a different way, in the same way. I still would, but I'm more conscious of how listening to that stuff can program you in a negative mindset. Stay with me. Simple proverbs. I'm a man of quotes. I love quotes. I'm a writer. What? Stoner moment. Okay. Where is... Ladies and gentlemen, cannabis affects the short-term memory, but I'm back. Where attention goes, energy flows. One thing about Democracy Now! Though, when I was younger, prior to being Mandela affected, prior to 2016, was that it was one of the themes of it is War on Peace, the War on Peace report. That's the theme of Democracy Now! Nowadays, I take certain things very seriously, such as abracadabra. We create what we speak. All of our world, the language of reality itself, takes the form of tone, vibration, and frequency. So, where attention goes, energy flows in the form of spoken words. And I like what the Borg says. You know, nerd out a little bit from Star Trek. If you ever nerded out on Star Trek, you know of the Borg. Resistance is futile. Don't be anti-war. Don't frame it being the war on peace. Because as long as it's framed that way, that resistance is created and the system moves on. Because it keeps us from recognizing and underestimating. It keeps us from recognizing the true power that rests within. It keeps us from underestimating the true power and the true influence we have with our reality. I'm not saying don't look at the negative stuff. There are problems. But if the focus is always on the problems, ladies and gentlemen, the solutions, where attention goes, energy flows. Where do these solutions go? No attention is on solutions. Attention has always been on problems. What is this political system? A red and blue false dilemma fallacy. Corrupted from two sides of the same coin, right? I've always known that. International corporatocracy is as pervasive in the modern ages as the Catholic Church was pervasive and inescapable in the Middle Ages. And that's exactly what the politics is of today. Always has been, as far as my view is, as an American. I had a point to that. I'm getting too riled up here. Point being, whether Democracy Now! Or NPR, or any of that, or the stuff I used to listen to, I'm more biased towards listening to. We're human beings, we all have bias. We can't help ourselves. It's beautiful. It's the same script, folks. Have you ever noticed that? I'm sure you Mandela Effected people, you're more conscious on average. Have you ever noticed that? With national and international politics. I'm biased because I'm more, of course, being an American, in America, more tapped and to looking at the American perspective of media. But nonetheless, it's the same script, folks. The same script of lines, of dialogue, of pretext, of how the situation's framed in a way that's irrational, in a way that's unjust, in a way that's oppressive. But it's okay, love Big Brother, right? Go ahead, love our oppression. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm something about today's beautiful. Don't know what it is. I'm no astrologer, but I'd like to think it has something to do with the stars, baby. But I just wanted to bring that to frame of reference of like, if anyone else who's experiencing the Mandela effect has noticed that, and because of that has decided to gear away from politics. Or rather, trying to pay attention and give your energy to it. One thing that I was doing while listening to Democracy Now! Was having these instantaneous moments of snapping. Like being really angry, emotional about what's being talked about, and then just fucking The funniest thing is that's part of the program that I'm conscious of now. Even though I'm conscious of it, I'm doing it. Because subconsciously it's there. It's the social matrix. Your subconscious is always on. It's gonna pick up on that. The criticizing isn't good. That's putting us back in the cycle of divide and conquer, social engineering that's been done for millennia, folks. It's one of the reasons the Mandela effect's happening. Why? Because innately, we're multidimensional beings, damn it. Having this human experience. What does that mean? That means that there's so much more to this existence than we live it now. Stay strong.